do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder back again with another edition of History You May Not Know, or the side of history that I can explain with clarity and meaning. Today's lesson is giving the full scope of the story of Thanksgiving. For those who do not know, the story of Thanksgiving that we are always taught is the one started by the Wampum tribe and the New England colonists as they had meals together around the time when the New World colonists from the Englishmen came to the United States. You must understand at this time, this meal was something very common in the Native American culture. Natives constantly ate big meals together as a celebration or a feast. The New Englishmen was very uncommon to do that. This was something done at this time that was very unique. So you gotta understand, meals at this time had lobster, seal, and swan that was on their Thanksgiving meals served together. They were served in a kind where you had to sit down in a circle, sharing memories and being grateful to the earth and the environment on what was happening. The new Europeans coming to America extremely was not used to this type of food, meekness, and kindness displayed by the natives. The natives had their own traditional spices, cooking methods, and how they supplied things that was very distinct, that opened their eyes up to a brand new culture. We always focus on the one that happened in New England. What we never focus on is that this was a holiday that was started mostly in the Virginia area. Around 1619, Virginia was having the same type of celebration with their natives in their area. And the natives did something similar around November time where they bought ham and oysters. And when they came down together, they broke bread. That was the expression they used. We break bread. That is how we show love, empathy, and expression. This tactic was very unique, very transparent, and it was a way to have a lighting of the minds. This is how agreements were established, how conversations were had. The natives used food, loving, and expression to get things done. However, most people do not even realize that the very first start of this Thanksgiving feast was actually done by the Solo tribe. The Solo tribe was based out of Florida, and they broke bread and shaved the meal with the Spaniards. Remember, this happened around 1519, when the Spaniards were literally eating with these tribes as a Thanksgiving meal. Around early this time, when they ate salted pork, bronzo beans, and other mass meals of this area. You must understand, they were a heavy vegetarian-based diet. They ate a lot of fruits and vegetables, and they learned how to eat and cultivate with each other. So you gotta understand, you had the very far northeast, you had the central Atlantic plains, and you had native tribes eating with the south. Thanksgiving was something they have done for centuries culturally that was new to the Americas, that was not common in the European market. The truth behind that point of Thanksgiving is that this meal and this style of living was very common among the natives. Remember, they introduced a certain lifestyle, bathing, eating, and focusing on family with each other. The roots of the family structure are based from the native traditions in this country, eating together, breaking bread, devouring. The history turns dark around this time that we always hit a different part of history, is that the ruffled feathers come together in the Massachusetts colonies. There was a ruff going on that isn't centrally focused when they said the Massachusetts Bay Colony Governor, John, declared war on the natives on the day they celebrated a meal with each other. This slaughter was so horrific that they killed Pequot men, women, and children in what is now known as Mestic, Connecticut. So think about this. People are coming to serve you a meal, and you kill everybody during that process. This really started the bad blood on what the Thanksgiving holiday was going upon. We knew about these Thanksgiving holidays being uniform and being idolized greatly to Abraham Lincoln. That was one of his favorite holidays as a president. He made it a national holiday and made the event enormous as it needed to be. However, we must not remember the erased part of history of the violence that came between another tribe, not the Iroquois, but the Wagman later on with the Englishmen. The Wagman and the Englishmen understood they had a declared war being had. This war responded with the Wagman responded with raids. They were raiding the colonies, killing them. And around 1675, that's when the blood and war devastation was at its maximum peak. The death toll of this war, you got to think it was between 45 to 35% of Englishmen died, and 50% of the natives died to this war. The most horrific part that happened that changed the landscape and the dealings with and the relationship between the natives and the Englishmen was after the war happened, the Englishmen just beheaded, and dismembered the bodies of those warriors of the native tribes. So think about this for a second. You beat them in war and you cut off their heads, put them on a spit, and you have them showed as a sign of fear and displacement for the next 30 years. This was something, a grotesque act that we have never saw. Natives usually had a remembrance for the bodies of the people they killed. The Englishmen took it to another level by dismantling them and even punishing them in death. This is what got the salty taste in the mouth among people who discuss Thanksgiving. That's why as there are memorials and other events and you see mixed feelings and reviews about it. The foundation of it and what Thanksgiving stands for is pure and good feeling. However, the full scope and encompassing of the history that happened, especially the chief's head and the leader's head being displayed in what we call Rhode Island, was shown for 30 years, does have a horrible past to it. All parts of history, you must understand, y'all, does have a bloody, a gory, and an edgy side. This breaks down how a very common and traditional meal was turned and altered to a different way. Englishmen defeating the warriors, but dismembering them caused the pain feeling. It's your boy King Crowder checking back out. I wanted to give a full synopsis on the story of Thanksgiving, why it was important, and why we should educate ourselves on it. No matter how you feel about the concept, knowing the story will break it down and help you learn more. Peace.